You're listening to The Drew Yari Show.
That's the wine and diner with kings and queens.
You're looking at the man. You're listening to The Drew Yari Show.
Hey, what's going on, guys? As we're recording, it is Wednesday. I'm recording a day early because I kind of want to do some stuff on Thursday. I didn't want to cancel the show because I already had a lot planned, so decided to record a day earlier on Wednesday. Decided to do some double watching of NXT and AEW. Had NXT on the big screen here in the bedroom. Well, I mean, not too much of a big screen, but it's bigger than the average TV. It's on my Insignia Roku TV. And while I have AEW on my tablet. So now I have the NBA Finals on my tablet. And so far, it's not looking like a good series. It's heavily a mismatch. I mean, I honestly didn't think the Heat were even going to have a chance. I mean, I'm being generous when I say they could probably win a game, but they're going to have to work for it. Not to say that they can't work for it, because they're in the NBA Finals for a reason. They were the fifth in the East. And they beat the shit out of Milwaukee, which a lot of people were looking at, Giannis and, LeBron James as, the finals matchup. They beat the shit out of them. Then they beat the shit out of the Celtics. Which I wouldn't mind seeing the Celtics and the Lakers in the finals, because I like the Celtics this year. I'm actually a Celtics fan. I have been for a long time. As long as I've been watching basketball, I've been a Celtics fan. I've been a Spurs fan and a Bulls fan and a Celtics fan. And an Orlando Magic fan, which is an odd combination. But, yeah, so far it's a blowout. It's what is it, 65-48 at the half? They just went to halftime. And they're getting their asses beat. Hopefully it's a close series. I want to see a competitive series. I want to see a competitive NBA Finals, but the way it looks like Bron's getting his fourth ring. Sorry, I just ate, so the food's coming back up. Not that I'm going to throw up, but it's coming up. I'm kind of exhaling a little bit. I like saying exhaling. It's a fancy word. Bron's going to get his fourth ring, and everyone's going to be like, oh, he's the GOAT. He's the greatest player ever. And you know what? I'm not going to take anything away from his talent. He's going to go down as top three. Top five. Top three, top five between that. I can't really choose. But he's definitely top three. I wouldn't mind it. I said on a post the other day, I think they need to stop comparing him with Jordan. Because I've never saw anytime people made these comparisons, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, I looked at it as like they are nothing alike. They are really not the same player. Why does everyone keep insisting that they're the same player or similar in any way, aside from the fact that they both wear number 23? I mean, LeBron's built like a brick shithouse. He's built like a freaking, a linebacker. The guy's built like a linebacker and he's 6'9". He can play any position. Michael Jordan was 6'6", and he could get away with playing small forward, but he was mainly a shooting guard. I mean, yeah, in his day, he was, he made all defensive team, any given year. He won Defensive Player of the Year, I think maybe once or twice. And, it's an astounding feat, especially for a guard, a shooting guard. But they're two very different players. And if you're going to ask me who I think is better, they're both better in their own ways. I think LeBron James is a better passer. I think he's a better defender. He's a better rebounder. Michael Jordan was a better scorer. And, LeBron James is a better passer, probably a better teammate, just based off of, the whole Last Dance documentary. They really went I don't think they went other way. And Michael even said before the documentary, after you're done watching this, you're going to think I'm an asshole. And he was. He admitted he was an asshole. Even his teammates said he was an asshole, but, he did what he had to do to get the best out of you. If he was tough on you, he saw something special, because the whole thing with him and Steve Kerr, he punched Steve Kerr right in the face. Or was it I think it was in the face or the chest or something. And ever since then, him and Steve Kerr, were buddies. They were close because he respected the fact that he stood up to him. LeBron James, you don't really hear too much about him bullying anyone on the court. You hear about him, being a good teammate and trying to find the best he can out of his teammates. Granted, any team he's on, the news always comes out. He wants better teammates on his team. He wants to trade so and so to a different team because he wants this player, this player, this player. But yeah, that's my basketball talk for that's my basketball talk. I don't really talk too much basketball because I used to love basketball. That was my sport. There was a point where I would literally watch any game. Like, I've always been a Spurs fan. I still am. There was a point where I would watch any game. It could be two of the worst teams in the league. It could be like, back in the day, it could be like the Knicks versus the Hornets. And I would still watch it. Nowadays, I'm at the point where it's just like, I only care about one team. That's the Spurs. They're not in the playoffs this year, which is an astounding feat because since 1998, from 1998 to 2019, they were making the playoffs every single year. And that streak is unheard of and almost untouched. Like, no other team has done that. Not the Lakers, not the Knicks, not Michael Jordan. Nobody. And they have made the playoffs. They didn't make the playoffs this year, which was expected because Tim Duncan's not there anymore. Tony Parker's not there anymore. Manu Ginobili's not there anymore. So they have to rebuild. They kind of have to go back to basics, which it's like that with any team. The Lakers, they had their spurt for a while where they weren't making the playoffs at all. Even when they had Kobe there for, the last few years of his career, and then after that, before they get LeBron. Even the first year with LeBron, they didn't make the playoffs. They were still struggling, and then they get LeBron James, which that was unexpected. Because they were a shit team, and they didn't have any good players, and they still got LeBron James. So with the Spurs, I'm pretty sure they'll find their way back to being a competitive team. They'll find their way back to being a championship team. Their management, their office, R.C. Buford, they usually make good decisions with drafting good talent. And this year, this is the first time they had to play the lottery in the draft. They have the 11th pick, which, hey, that's a good pick. They can still get a good player. Can they get a franchise player? Doubt it. They could get a piece. They can get a good piece to the puzzle. And I'm just going to say right now, because I know I'm boring everyone with my sports talk. I'll get to the wrestling in a bit. And, we'll do the watch on later, which is going to be a long match. So I'm going to try and make this short and sweet as possible. What was I going to say? So, DeMar DeRozan is currently the guy that they're trying to sign, but he apparently isn't going to sign an extension because he has an opt out year. He has an option to play for another year or opt out. I honestly think he's going to opt out. DeMar DeRozan, he's a good player. He doesn't fit with what this team needs. And he's not a leader. He's not someone that I think could lead a team. And he was really only sent here, so they can get rid of Kawhi Leonard because he didn't want to be here. So I wouldn't be surprised if he decided to leave and go back to Toronto, DeMar DeRozan. And then LaMarcus Aldridge is their second guy, their second big guy. And he's been kind of hinting that he wants to go play. He wants to go back to Portland, which is his original team that he played for years, and finish out his career. Which again doesn't surprise me. My notion is I think the team needs to rebuild, and when you rebuild, you need to strip away everything. You need to strip away the foundation. You need to strip away furniture. You need to strip away everything and start over. So let DeMar walk. Let him go where he wants to go, and get rid of LaMarcus. Trade him for draft picks. Trade him for pieces, money, whatever you want to do. Just get rid of him. If he wants to go, let him go. That's that. If I'm an owner of a team, and one of my star players kind of makes little hints that, I wouldn't mind playing with my old team, with my old teammates, I'd trade him. Or as a matter of fact, no, I would just trade him. I would ask him straight up, do you want to play here? Do you even want to be here? Or do you want to go back to Portland? Because we'll trade you if you want to. And if the answer is yes, I will trade him. So, just get rid of those two. Start over. Start over from scratch. Stop trying to make the playoffs every year. Don't even worry about going after big free agents, because no one's going to want to come here. You're not going to attract any big-name free agents, especially when you're a small market. Especially when you don't have anyone to offer. So, and I was talking about this with somebody on Twitter, forgetting who, where, they threw out the idea of, Chris Paul possibly playing for the Spurs. I said no. First of all, no. Because Chris Paul going anywhere doesn't mean shit for your team. It means your team's either they'll probably make the playoffs, but what's the word I'm looking for? They'll underachieve. So the way I see it is, you can either keep your big names and make the playoffs and get knocked out of the first round, or you can start over and just continue to rebuild until you get your next Tim Duncan. You get your next David Robinson. You get your next George Gervin. That's an old name for you young ones out there. So they need to rebuild. If they don't if rebuilding means they miss the playoffs for the next 2 to 3 years, also meaning that they'll get their next Tim Duncan, or not even the next Tim Duncan, they can get their next superstar, their next franchise guy that actually wants to be here, meaning that they'll get back to the team that they used to be. And not just the team they used to be, better. I'm fine with that. If Luton not making the playoffs for 2 to 3 years means you'll get the number 1 draft pick, I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. So, anyways, that's enough sports talk for me. Yeah. Other than that, my day's been okay. I got paid, so I did what I usually do on payday, which is pay bills and splurge. I bought, I don't know if there's any gamers out there, which I'm pretty sure there is. If you guys have Xbox Ultimate Game Pass, you can now download it on your Android phone or your tablet, and you can play video games on there. All you need is an Xbox controller that has Bluetooth on it, so that way you can play video games. And you can also buy that phone clip. It's a phone clip that you put your controller on and your phone, so that way you can just play it like that without having to put your phone down and play. So I bought that precisely just for my phone. Because my Xbox One controllers were the generation ones that didn't connect through Bluetooth to my phone. They only connected to the Xbox. Bought a new portable vacuum for my car so I can clean that out. Damn good deal, so I had to jump on it. And I have to fix my lawnmower. It's already another problem, because first, the carburetor apparently doesn't work. There's water in the gas tank, and when I tried putting it in my car, gas started leaking out. So I need somebody with a truck that can help me take that shit to the place I fixed it before. So that's more money I gotta spend, which is fucking stupid. And then I just came home and ate Chinese food and watched NXT and AEW. So my day has been a thrill. on top of another throw. Anywho, let's get into the news. Let's get into some wrestling. Let's start with Clash of Champions that happened over the weekend. We're talking about Clash of Champions, NXT and AEW, and Takeover predictions for this Sunday. And then we're going to do a watch-along of Shawn Michaels versus Mankind from In Your House, Mind Games, 1996, September the 22nd. Put that up as a poll, and you fans chose that match. So I had no clue this match was going to be over 40 minutes. I'm looking at it right now. Maybe less than that. Maybe just accounting entrances, but anywho, Clash of Champions was this past Sunday. Okay, Clash of Champions was this past Sunday. 8 matches. Let's see. First match was the pre-show. Cesaro and Nakamura defended their SmackDown Tag Championships against Lucha House Party, defeating them in 10 minutes and 45 seconds. I mean, the match kind of went the way it did. Cesaro and Nakamura, you know, they're kind of doing their job. You know, they're not really doing anything special, not lighting the world on fire. I mean, I like seeing Cesaro succeed. Nakamura, I'm surprised that he stayed, which I'm surprised that I'm not, because he's pushing 40, so I can't imagine him wanting to go, you know, work back in Japan or work anywhere else and work that style. You know, he's in WWE because he doesn't have to work that strong style. He doesn't have to take kicks to the head or to the, you know, chest or back or whatever you want to call it. Because he's pushing 40, he's married, he has kids. He wants to take it easy. He wants to get paid. I just kind of wish he would show up a little bit. But, yeah, the match was what it was. Cesaro and Nakamura defeated Lucha House Party. Now we get to the main show. The first match on the card was the triple threat ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. Sami Zayn, Jeff Hardy, and AJ Styles. Sami Zayn going over, which, you know, that was my prediction. This match is 26 minutes and 35 seconds. Match of the night, I'd have to say. I mean, it was expected. I thought they were very smart to put this on as the first show. I mean, as the first match. I think if you put it on before the main event, or before Drew and Orton's match, there would have been, I guess, less interest in those matches, I guess. But I'll say one thing: Sami Zayn, I like him. I love him. I'm really loving this gimmick. Sami Zayn works better as a heel because, you know, naturally, I think Sami Zayn admits he's a dick, and, you know, I knew he did an interview where he said, you know, he had a lot of heat with people backstage because he was kind of an annoying dick. What he did was pure genius in this match. You know, he brought the handcuffs. There was a point where he handcuffed. He put handcuffs through Jeff Hardy's earlobe and put it on another ladder. And then Jeff Hardy got in the ring with the ladder attached to his earlobe. I thought that was amazing. What's everybody's obsession with trying to put things in Jeff Hardy's earlobe? Like, that's just great. That's just odd. I guess that's what you get. But and then he did the same thing to AJ. Not in his earlobe, but he handcuffed him to himself. And then he just has this smarmy look on his face, like, you're not going anywhere, buddy. And then he ends up putting the key to the handcuffs in his mouth, and then spits it out, and then takes it out, and ends up handcuffing AJ to the ladder that they're climbing. So that way, Sammy can climb it without any interruptions. And I thought that was pure genius. That's a heel move if I haven't seen one. And then overall, you know, Jeff Hardy does his usual, you know, Daredevil killing himself shtick, which, again, as much as I love Jeff Hardy, but I really think he needs to stop with these spots. The guy's 40. The guy's in his 40s. I don't want to see him before he's even 50 or at the age of 50 not being able to walk. You know, I want him to be. I want him to be able to walk his daughter down the aisle when she gets married. I want him to see. I want to see the best for Jeff. I don't want to see him do any more of these stunts. Granted, he's not doing as much as Matt, and that kind of shows you something. Not just with Matt and Jeff, but with AEW and WWE, which we'll talk about. But I don't think he needs to do these stunts. I really don't. I think this match really could have. It would have been as good even if it weren't a ladder match. If he just made it a simple triple threat match, it would have been fine the way it was. But yeah, I mean, again, I enjoyed the match. It was entertaining. Sammy entertained me. AJ entertained me. AJ almost seemed like he was. I wouldn't say non-existent, but he almost seemed like he was the odd man out. Which I think I said on the show last week, doing predictions, that AJ doesn't really need to be Intercontinental Champion. AJ doesn't really need the Intercontinental title. I mean, it's one of those things that, yeah, it's cool that he has it. Same thing with Jeff. It's cool that they have it, but they don't really need it because they're already top guys. Like to the WWE, they're already top guys. To the fans, they're top guys. Sammy, I think, needed it more to let his character and his gimmick mean something. So, and I'm glad he won. He's the new champion, or in his words, he never lost. He's still the champion. So, good for Sammy. But I enjoyed the match. Next match, you had Asuka versus Zelina Vega for the Women's Championship. Winning this match was the Raw Women's Champion. I'm sorry, this match was 7 minutes and 5 seconds. Very much a mismatch. Zelina, I like her. I like looking at her. I like hearing her speak. She's a good talker. She's a good manager. I don't know why they took her out of the managerial spot, because that's where she tends to thrive more. They should have kept her at that. But the storyline is that she decided to abandon Angel Garza and Andrade so she can be a single star. Yeah, the match kind of was what it was. It happened the way it should have. Asuka wins by submission. The whole point of the match was that Zelina was trying to avoid the Asuka lock. And, I mean, yeah, total good story, but again, it was what it was. So, Zelina, I would prefer to just be a manager. I mean, yeah, she can wrestle every. Not that I'm trying to give her permission, but I wouldn't mind seeing her wrestle every now and then if it's for a story, like if it's like a mixed tag match. But I want to see her back as a manager. So, next match you had Bobby Lashley defending the U.S. title against Apollo Crews. He ends up winning by submission with the Master Lock, which he calls the Hurt Lock. The match was 8 minutes and 15 seconds. Kind of went the way it's supposed to. Bobby Lashley, they're trying to make this Hurt business, gimmick mean something, which I'm a fan of the gimmick. I mean, I don't know if I'm alone on that, but I'm a fan of the gimmick. Apollo Crews, I feel bad because it seemed like they were doing something for. It seemed like they were actually doing something with him, and now it seems like he's just back of the line, I guess. Because I think Apollo really needed the title more than Bobby Lashley. Because Lashley's still in there as a star because he looks like a star. But the Hurt business they want to do something with. They wanted to solidify it. It's one of those things where you look at it in retrospect, like, yeah, I don't think Bobby Lashley needed it. I think the Hurt business needed a lot more, so they can solidify the group as being this badass group. But yeah, again, okay match, I guess. We don't have to spend too much time on the next match. Tag team match for the Raw Tag Titles, 8 minutes and 15 seconds. Street Profits defeating Andrade and Angel Garza. I'm not sure what happened at the end. So here's what happened. Angelo Dawkins comes in and gives a sidewalk slam I just forgot the name. Andrade goes for the pin. 1-2, which should have been a 2 count. Andrade kicked out at 2. The ref still hit 3. And while that's happening, you see Angel Garza, outside of the ring selling an injury. Or it looked like he was actually legit hurt. So, we're not sure what happened. We're not sure if Angel Garza actually was hurt, and he was trying to communicate that to the ref. So if that's the case, the communication with the ref was, well, not just the ref, Andrade. I don't know if the ref was trying to let Andrade know, hey, your guy's hurt. I can't really specify what happened. I don't really know if anyone knows what really happened. I don't know if this is on the ref or this is on the wrestlers. But yeah, Street Profits win in controversial fashion. Next match, you had what was supposed to be Bayley versus Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross had to be pulled off the show, speculated due to COVID. So Bayley comes out and makes an open challenge. Out comes Asuka, which, why the fuck not? I mean, this match was going to lead to something. This is going to lead to Sasha coming out either way. So the match was 3 minutes and 45 seconds. It was just to kill time. It was just to prove a point. Bayley ends up hitting Asuka with a chair, gets disqualified. Sasha comes out and, beats Bayley's ass. And that's really about it. Supposedly, it's Hell in a Cell next month for Bayley and Sasha, which I think is a bad idea because Sasha is still selling her injury. I'm not sure how you're going to do that match. I'm not sure how that match is going to end. This needs to be a Mania match. I don't like that they're rushing it. It's typical WWE fashion. They have to be lazy and hotshot everything, but I don't like that they're hotshotting it. I don't want this to be at Hell in a Cell next month. I don't. I really don't. Next match, you had an ambulance match for Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship, or as I call it, A Christmas Carol with Randy Orton, being visited by the 3 ghosts of his past. The 3 ghosts of past, present, and future. Pretty much what it is, because this kind of made Drew McIntyre look bad when I look at it, because you have Randy Orton getting his ass beat throughout the entire fucking match. The entire fucking match. And it almost didn't mean anything until the end of the match. Like, the first bit was, you had Big Show come out pretty early, and, he chokeslammed him? I forgot it. He chokeslammed him. And then Drew McIntyre takes him to the ambulance, and then, stops him. So then they go to the back, and then Christian comes out and attacks Randy Orton. Drew McIntyre, beats his ass again, tries to take him back to the ambulance. Didn't mean anything. Again. And then Shawn Michaels comes out and super kicks Randy Orton off of the ambulance. And Randy Orton somehow gets the power to fight off Drew McIntyre. And in the end, Drew McIntyre still won. But, I like Drew McIntyre. I just kind of waiting for him to lose the title. As much as I like Drew McIntyre, I've been supporting him. He needs to drop that strap already. And at this point, who can? It looks like he's going to hold on to that title until Mania. I don't know who's going to challenge him. I don't know who they're going to put in front of him. My best guess is going to be somebody we're not thinking about. It could be Karrion Kross. That'd be an interesting matchup. Karrion Kross comes into the Rumble and wins it. Oof. So that's a good matchup. That'd be a hell of a matchup. That's your main event at Mania. Karrion Kross versus Drew McIntyre. I also don't want to see this feud anymore. Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. can we please end it? Which the answer is no, based off of what happened on Raw last night, which, I'm not going to waste my time talking about it. Basically, the end of Raw was Randy Orton goes into the Legends room that had Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, Christian, and Big Show, where they were playing poker. Orton is disguised as some type of janitor. He ends up putting on these night vision goggles and has a steel chair. Shuts the door and turns off the lights and, quote-unquote, beats everyone's ass in the room. And somehow gets away. In hindsight, it made sense. Because Randy Orton knows he couldn't take them all out on at once. So he had to better it to his advantage by turning up, getting rid of the lights, and putting on night vision goggles so only he can see them. They can't see him. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense, but it was... That's what I think. So, we're getting Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton again at Hell in a Cell. That's going to be Hell in a Cell. It's going to be a Hell in a Cell match. That's... If you already didn't know. So the main event, Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso for the WWE Universal Championship. 22 minutes and 55 seconds. He wins by technical knockout. I think they could have easily shaved off maybe 5 or 7 minutes of this match. Here's my only issue with the match is I didn't like that they made it too competitive. And I get why they had to make it competitive. I get why it was as long as it was, because we were supposed to have a women's tag team title match. And Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus the Riot Squad. And that got taken off the show for some reason. I'm not sure why. So I don't know how networks work. I don't know how pay-per-views work or whatever, but maybe they were supposed to meet their time in order to make their quota. I'm not... Somebody that works in business, please try to explain this to me a lot better so I can get it. So they had to make this match a lot longer than it should have. And I get why, but I think if you could have taken off maybe 5 to 7 minutes, I would have enjoyed it a little bit more. Because, so basically how the match works is that, there was good back and forth between the two. I mean, these two obviously have good chemistry because they're family. Later in the match, Roman just, he kind of officially made the heel turn on Friday. This kind of solidified it because, the whole point of the match is that he wants Jey to, say the words, say I'm the head of the family, say I'm the chief. Again, another thing that didn't have a problem with necessarily, it's one of those things I think the announcers could have really explained it better to the people at home, because when you think of chief, what do people think of when they hear chief? What exactly do they hear? When they think of chief, they either think the Chiefs, the football team, or, if you go to Starbucks and, you order your venti mocha frap, it's like, hey, thanks, Chief. That's what you say, from the person at the counter. So they probably could have explained it a lot better. They could explain, is he the new chief? Is he taking the mantle that was passed down from Peter Maivia? Which I'm pretty sure they'll explain, soon. Especially now that you have The Rock. It's going to be involved in this somehow. I guess this is how you're building for The Rock to come back. Sorry, food's still coming up. Wouldn't it be funny if I just threw up all over the computer screen while I'm talking? Anyway, so Roman is just beating the air-living piss out of Jey. He is just beating his ass. He's owning him. It would have been nice if they would have given Jey some color, so that way you could have really made Roman look like a brute. Just the small things. Just the small things. So he's telling Jey, say I'm the head I'm the head of the table. Say I'm the head chief. There's a funny moment where Paul Heyman, says, "You are my tribal chief. You're the head of the table." And then Roman says, I don't want to hear from you. I want to hear from him. He bitches out the referee. It was kind of funny. where he's trying to stop Roman, and Roman's saying, don't ever put your hands on me. I own you. You ever put your hands on me, I'll knock your ass in the next week and you won't have a job. So the ref kind of stays off of Roman. Because there's really no authority except for Vince McMahon. And I'll be interested to see how Vince, does in the storyline. But as he just beats the shit out of him, now you have Jimmy Uso coming out, hobbling to the ring, telling Roman, stop. Just leave him alone. He has a towel in his hand. He's about to throw in the towel, and, Jay's telling him, no, don't do that. A la, Rocky 3. And Roman just pulls back Jay and just beats the shit out of him, continues to beat the shit out of him. So finally Jimmy throws in the towel and just lays on top of Jay, to stop Roman from doing this. And he tells him, just leave him alone. You're the head of the table. You're the tribal chief. What do you want? And then after that, Paul Heyman takes the the little thing that Jay was wearing around his neck, the thing where you get laid, not that type of getting laid, but the laid, and puts it around Roman. Now he's the new chief. Again, great storytelling. I didn't think the match alone was bad. I just wish it could have been shorter. You know what I mean? Because Joey Numbers on Wrestling Soup, he made he said that it would have been better if they didn't spend so much time getting to the point instead of having to build up so much suspension, which I get it. This was supposed to be Brock Lesnar, John Cena at SummerSlam in 2014 when Brock just pretty much raped John Cena in the middle of the ring. This was supposed to be that. This was supposed to solidify a new badass. And I get it. And I understand. Overall the show wasn't too bad. The match of the night I thought was a triple threat ladder match. The worst match of the night? I guess Asuka and Bayley, but I don't really know if you want to call that a match. So it wasn't really a match. Yeah, that's just how I see it. So let's move things along so we can get to the watch along. Alright, so NXT. First match you had... wait, no, this was last week. Oh, wait, no. Shotzi Blackheart and Dakota Kai. Shotzi winning by, shots. So what happened in the match was Raquel Gonzalez got involved. And then Rhea Ripley comes out and attacks her from behind. So that story was from last week during the Women's Battle Royal when they both eliminate each other. So that sets up their feud. I don't know when that's going to happen. And then Shotzi ends up, beating Dakota Kai, which, okay match. It wasn't a bad match. I wouldn't have put it on first, but, I'm not booking the show, but I like Dakota Kai. Shotzi Blackheart, not my cup of tea. I can see who would like her. Again, I've said before, I think she's aimed towards, the younger audience, the younger girls. Young girls, I think, could see Shotzi Blackheart and go, I like her. I like her hair. She has cool hair. She has a cool style. I want her tank. So, yeah, there we go. Next match, you had Cameron Grimes do his what do you call it? His open invitational. He called out a random, let's see. Who the hell was it? He just called out a random, jobber and beat him. So he calls out the next guy, and Ridge Holland ends up, beating the shit out of that guy. So it becomes Ridge Holland versus Cameron Grimes. And the match had to be stopped because Ridge Holland, didn't want to stop, beating the shit out of him. So I guess Ridge Holland he's a tweener. Because he's been pushed as a face, but he comes out and beats up a heel. So I don't know what that's supposed to make him. So I guess that makes him a tweener. I don't know. Kushida versus Tony Nese. Kushida no longer doing the Back to the Future gimmick, which is good because nobody that was born in 2000, nobody between the year of 95 and 2000 knows what the fuck Back to the Future is. Nobody knows what that is. So I'm glad he got rid of that gimmick. I'm glad he's just being, I guess, a serious wrestler, quote unquote. Setting up his match with Dream this Sunday. So he wrestles Tony Nese, which, Another example of a guy with a nice look, but just nothing else solved. He ends up winning with a hoverboard lock. Let's see. You have Adam Cole versus Austin Theory. Decent match. Austin Theory interview, kind of making fun of the Undisputed Era, talking shit about Kyle O'Reilly. Adam Cole comes out and says, "Hey, you say what you want. You want to talk about Kyle O'Reilly? Good. Then you have to fuck with us." So Austin Theory comes out and just acting like a heel, not really giving two shits about what Adam Cole is saying. Adam Cole lets him know, "Hey, you can either come to this ring and fight me like a man, or you can stay up there and wait for me in the Undisputed Era to beat the shit out of you." And so Austin Theory just gets in the ring and fights Adam Cole. So, good match. Good match between the two. It's nice seeing Adam Cole back. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I think I have a feeling what could happen with him in the Undisputed Era, which we'll talk about when we get into predictions for NXT TakeOver. What was I going to say? Yeah, it was good seeing Adam Cole. Austin Theory, I don't know what they're doing with him because he gets a lot of TV time. He gets a lot of promo time. He comes out and works these pretty good matches. He's starting to grow on me a little bit. I've been saying, for the longest time that he looks like a creator wrestler. He looks so generic. I've started to like him a little bit because the guy looks good. The guy looks like $1 million. The guy can work. He's a hell of a heel. Like, he has that heel face. Because the guy is good looking, I'm not going to lie. Not something fruity or anything, but the guy's a good looking dude. And he looks like Mr. Steal Your Girl. Like, that's what he looks like. He looks like the type of guy that you want to keep away from your girlfriend. And you want to see him get punched in the face. So, when are they going to start letting this guy win some matches? Like, I just don't want it to be another Deonna Purrazzo type of shit where they're treating her like she's someone important, but she's really just the person to make the other person look better. So I kind of hope that's not a situation with Austin Theory because he's someone that's extremely talented. He's someone that maybe if you give him a couple years and really build him up, he could be, the top guy in NXT, maybe. But they need to start letting him win some matches pretty soon, or else I wouldn't be surprised if he just says, "Fuck it, I'm going to go to AEW and be a top star. I'm going to go to Impact Wrestling," which apparently a lot of people want to go to Impact. It's starting to get a little better from what I hear. All right, so what are we talking about? Caden Carter versus Xia Li. Caden Carter won. Big whoop. Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly had a segment with Shawn Michaels, where Shawn Michaels just moderated it. I thought it was good. I thought it was one of the better parts of the show, probably the best part of the show. They both sat down and just kind of did back and forth, gave very backhanded compliments to each other. But I thought it was funny because they sat down and they're just like, "I respect you. Yeah, I think you're talented." Like, they're just giving these looks to each other like, "Yeah, I think you're good, but you're not as good as me." It was a good wrestling promo. Not just a good promo. Fuck. I'm trying to get comfortable. Not just a good promo, but a good wrestling promo. Kyle O'Reilly, they had a video package of him earlier in the day. Again, good work. It really made him look like a babyface. He's talking about, I've been in this business for the longest time. I stepped into a boxing gym and, became a wrestler. I've been wanting to face Finn Balor for the longest time. It just seems like everywhere I go, he ends up going to the opposite. I go to Japan, he's in NXT. I go to NXT, he's on the main roster. So it's a good way to set up the match. Finn Balor, he's obviously kind of walking a line of, I wouldn't say walking a line. He's the badass babyface. He's not kissing babies or shaking hands, but he's not blowing up nurseries or anything like that. He's just himself. He says, "I don't watch this business watches me." Which, again, that's something that should be on a shirt. That's a good tagline. He's out there, he's in his promo, or in the segment, he's telling Kyle O'Reilly, I think you're very talented, but let's just face it, you're really nothing without the Undisputed Era. Are you going to fight me like a man, or are you going to have the Undisputed Era be by your side? And Kyle O'Reilly, just kind of being the smarmy dick, I think, I respect you, but I'm going to kick your ass this Sunday. I like that it wasn't just two guys marking out for each other. It was just a wrestling promo. It's kind of similar to, the Jey Uso Roman thing, which, that they were doing in the beginning before they decided to make Roman a heel officially, where Roman's like, I got love for you, you're your family, you're my blood, but I'm still going to kick the shit out of you this Sunday, like I did when we were kids. So I like that. I like that they didn't do a whole, hey buddy, we're frenemies. You're my bestie. Let's be besties. You want to be besties? Let's be besties. Nah, just two guys just shooting the shit like any other competitor. Like, yeah, I think you're good. I respect you. But this Sunday, as soon as that bell rings, I'm going to kick your fucking head in. That's how wrestling promos need to work. That's how they should work. The main event, you have the power couple, Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano versus Damian Priest and Io Shirai. Good match overall. Gargano just really not opposed to, making his wife look better. He's really just out there taking these bumps and making everybody else look better. So I gotta give him that. Even though he won't really be taken seriously, but I'm just saying, in the eyes of the public, Io Shirai's beating his ass. She's punching him. How is it going to look if he beats Priest? Priest, who's almost seems like he's 10 feet taller than him, and he actually sounds like a man. He has a man's voice. Gargano literally looks like a child, and Io Shirai is smaller than him and beat his ass tonight. So I don't know, but it made sense for the heels to win, so that way you can hype up the match on Sunday. You want the match to mean something. You want there to be some type of emotion or backstory in this match. Because you want the announcers to be like, Priest is pissed off. He's still sulking. He's still seething after what happened on Wednesday. After he lost. You want the match to mean something. So it made sense for the heels to win. Anyways, that was NXT for tonight. Let's go to AEW. This shouldn't take too long. First match, you had Ricky Starks versus Darby Allin. Darby Allin going over, and I thought it was a good match. These two match up pretty well, even though Starks is maybe a couple inches taller, maybe a bit bigger than Allin. But I'll give Allin this. Allin seems to work with just about anyone in the ring, regardless of who you put him with. So I'll give him that. And I like Ricky Starks. I think, he's all the talent. He's good on the mic. He's good at just being the smarmy, dickhead heel. Like, he knows he's better than everyone. Like, that's his shtick. And these two work great. Allin won, with his coffin drop, which, it's a nice looking move. It's a cool looking move. I'll give him that. So, this is your first match on. Let's see. What was the next one? Cody comes out. His first promo in what is it, a month and a half? Comes out and talks about, where he's been, why he's been gone. and there was a bit where, the interviewer asked him, are you going to accept Brody Lee's challenge to do a dog collar match? And he says no. And then he comes back and says, what I meant by no was no regrets, no mercy, no blah, blah, blah. Was it no regrets, no looking back? And he accepts the challenge. The dog collar match will be next week. I mean, it's good to see Cody back. I like Cody. He's not bad. He's good on the mic. I don't like that he's too dramatic. That he's so theatric when he has to talk. You know what I mean? Like, when he said no and walked away and then came back and said, no regrets, no looking back, I'm like, okay. Yeah, I didn't think it was a bad promo. I just thought it was a little bit too much. But so we got that to look forward to. FTR versus SCU in a regular tag team match. FTR wins with the help of Tully Blanchard. I guess it was a good match. Yeah, these two work together. FTR is probably the what the fuck? I keep burping. They're a good tag team. Here's one thing with AEW. Why did they think long tag team? Why did they think long matches equal great matches? This match seemed like it was at least an hour and a half, or not an hour and a half, half an hour. I mean that's just what I felt, personal opinion. But yeah, good tag team with these two. FTR is obviously the best tag team in the company, maybe the best tag team currently going right now. Let's see what else happened. Chris Jericho versus Isaiah Cassidy. So who won the match? Okay, no. I do know the match. Just fucking match. He wins by pinfall. Bleh. And then Hager and Jericho started swinging away on Luther and Serpentico. Chaos Project. So they're apparently going to have a match next week. And that's pretty much it. There's a segment with Miro. Has the task to put together the best bachelor party ever with the help of Billy Packman. I don't know who that is. Somebody tell me who that is. And next match is Orange Cassidy versus 10 from the Dark Order. Orange Cassidy wins by pinfall. Surprise. What else do you want me to say about that match? Who do you think was going to win? He's wrestling a guy named 10. Dark Order member number 10. Next was a segment with the Inner Circle and MJF. MJF comes, bearing gifts. He has, some pretty cool jackets for everybody. Forgets Sammy Guevara's jacket. And then this sparks a nice exchange with him and Jericho, where Jericho asks, do you want to be in the Inner Circle? MJF says, do you want me to be in the Inner Circle? And they just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then, they walk out, and Sammy Guevara calls him a loser, and Jericho says, he might not be. So, I'm not sure what they're trying to do with this. MJF, I think, is better as a singles act. And he doesn't need to be in a faction. He just needs to be his own guy. I like him better as his own guy. And these guys are supposed to be heels. Why are two heels feuding with each other? It's Jericho and his MJF, so it's going to be entertaining because they're good on the mic. I don't get it. I don't get where this is going. Let's see. Britt Baker made her in-ring return, beating Red Velvet, and she wins. And Eddie Kingston comes out with the referee. Ask him, why did you ring the bell? I didn't submit. I didn't say I quit. The referee says, I've known you for years. You know my family. You you were unresponsive. Your face was turning red, so I had to do what was necessary to protect you from yourself. So they look like they're about to beat down the ref, and then Moxley comes out, and then whatchamacallit, Eddie Kingston ends up choosing his opponent, which is the Butcher. So that's your main event. Butcher versus Jon Moxley on a main event on TNT. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it was a good physical match. I mean, Butcher, he has a unique look to him. He looks like somebody you would see in, like if you were watching wrestling at a carnival in the 1950s. Now out to the ring, Dirty Don versus Butcher. They say Butcher hasn't had a home-cooked meal in months. That's what he kind of looks like. He has an interesting look. He looks like somebody that could be a single star, but the match kind of was what it was. It was a typical Jon Moxley match. Nothing to frat over. They're just waiting for Lance Archer to come back on October 14th. Because he's supposed to be out for 2 weeks, so that's perfect timing for him to come back and wrestle Moxley for the title. I'm just interested in how Eddie Kingston plays into this. I'm not sure if he's going to be a part of the match. Maybe they'll make this triple threat. Maybe he'll get involved. I kind of hope so. I wouldn't mind if this was a triple threat. I wouldn't mind if you put Eddie Kingston into this match. Because Eddie Kingston's whole thing is, I never was eliminated from the Battle Royal. I never gave up. I never submitted. That's his whole thing. So, if they decide to continue this whole thing with Archer and Moxley and add Kingston into the mix, I wouldn't be opposed. I would not be opposed at all. I'd be A-okay with it. So that's AEW. Let's go to the predictions for TakeOver 31, and let's go to our watch-along. So, going in order, let's start from 5. Santos oh my God, I can't speak tonight. Santos Escobar defending the Cruiserweight Championship against Isaiah Swerve Scott. I think they're going to keep it on Escobar because it seems like they like him. I like him. He's a hell of a talent. I was reading something on the screen. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's a hell of a talent. He has a good look to him. I mean, he could talk. Isaiah Swerve Scott, another guy I like. Both good talent. They should. I mean, this could easily be match of the night. This could be a show stealer. So I'm not sure who's going to win, but if I had to pick a winner, I'd say Escobar because they want to continue with this whole gimmick. Scott, they obviously want to make him into something, which I'm fine with because I like Scott. And the next match you have Kushida versus Velveteen Dream. I'd say Velveteen Dream. That is, this could possibly be the dullard of the night. Kushida, I don't think is bad. I don't care about him. He's not my cup of tea personally. And Velveteen Dream is just the blooms come off the rose for the guy. I know it's guilty, innocent, until proven guilty, but something just doesn't work. Anytime I see him on the screen, it just doesn't work. It's like I said when I had RJ on the show. It's like the scene in Step Brothers when they're in the interview at the sports place, and they're about to get the job, and because they were in tuxedos everywhere, and then Seth Rogen is like, you got on what the fuck was I gonna say? You have on tuxedos, which is ironic, and I like it. You guys got the job. And then John C. Reilly just lets out this huge fart that lasts for what seemed like 30 seconds. And then Seth Rogen just like, is that a fart? Yeah, that was a fart. I can taste it on my tongue. I just realized that I think the tuxedos are pretty fucked up. That's basically Velveteen Dreamer. The whole gimmick is fucked up now. I thought the gimmick was cool and edgy. Now anytime I see it, it's pretty fucked up. So yeah, I mean, I guess Velveteen Dream is gonna win. So next match, well, this isn't the next match. You got 3 more matches. Io Shirai, Candice LeRae for the NXT Women's Championship. I mean, Io Shirai, I don't see any reason why she's going to lose. I mean, they want to hype it up that the King and Queen of NXT are going to win. Like, no, just Candice LeRae, I see nothing in her. Like, she's bland and dull as fuck. I don't know why they're pushing her. I mean, I get it. You want to keep giving Io, you want to keep feeding bitches to Io, so that way it leads to Rhea and Io. Which, if I'm a betting man, it's going to be the takeover before Mania. Like that's the money matchup. You're trying to keep these two far away from each other as far as possible, because you already know what you want your money matchup to be. So Candice LeRae, it's going to be competitive somewhat, but Io is going to beat the shit out of her. She's going to fucking cave her nose in. Then you got Damian Priest versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship. Damian Priest. I mean, because Damian Priest is, 6'3"? He looks like he's 6'3", 6'4". Looks like a man, talks like a man, can kick people's faces in. Johnny Gargano looks like a tiny child. And he's out there selling for Io Shirai. And he was selling for Mia Yim a couple months ago. So why are we supposed to believe that a guy that gets beat up by a girl can beat up a guy who's at least a foot taller than him? Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe Johnny Gargano's not that small, but come on, there's no chance in hell Johnny Gargano's winning this match. They just want to sell the fact that they're the king and queen of NXT. They're not going to win. So Damian Priest is going to win. Also, Damian just fucking won it, so they're not going to give it to Johnny Gargano. And then what is the main event? Finn Balor defending against Kyle O'Reilly for the NXT Championship. Now, I already know Finn's going to win, because, again, just won it. They want to keep it on him before, more than likely, Cross comes back. So that way they can give Cross his title back. Here's what I think is going to happen. They're really, playing up the fact that the Undisputed Era is proud of Kyle O'Reilly, and that they love him, and that they love him as family, they love him as a brother. They really love him. And that, Adam Cole is saying, Kyle O'Reilly's going to shock the world, but he's not going to shock me. What I think is going to happen is that Kyle's going to lose. It's going to be a competitive match. It's going to be, back and forth, good action. And, there's going to be respect between Balor and Kyle. Balor's going to, tell Kyle, hey, man, I respect you. You really brought tonight. Blah, blah, blah. Undisputed Era. Or no, here's another thing that could happen. Kyle's going to tell Undisputed Era, stay in the back, I got this. And Kyle goes out there and fights him and loses. After the match, the Undisputed Era come in and they embrace Kyle. They let him know, hey man, you worked your ass out there, we still love you, we're so proud of you. They hug him. Almost like the Batista, or not Batista, but Randy Orton and Evolution thing, where they hoist, Randy Orton on Batista's arms, and then Triple H gives the thumbs up and the thumbs down, and they beat the shit out of him. That's what I think will happen. Is that they look like they're going to embrace him and let him, hey, we're proud of you no matter what. And then, boom! Roderick Strong attacks him from behind, and they just beat the ever-living piss out of Kyle. Adam telling Kyle, this wasn't you. This was never you. You took my spot. I'm supposed to be the champion, not you. I'm supposed to be in the main event, not you. Like, that could be it. They turn on Kyle O'Reilly. And that's how you make a star. That's how you can make a star out of Kyle O'Reilly. By having him feud with Adam Cole. That's the next big feud. I'm not saying that will happen. I'm saying that's something that could happen. I'm just saying. I've been watching wrestling for the longest time. I mean, that pales in comparison to the likes of like Kevin Castle and John Draper, who would literally drive or have their dad drive them all the way to Florida just to watch wrestling. And they said over and over again, they were at the first ever SummerSlam. So they've seen it all. They saw Edge debut. They saw Edge and Val Venis debut on the same night. So, but I'm just saying, I've still watched wrestling for the longest time. I know a swerve and I know a storyline when it comes. So that's what I think could happen this Sunday. I could be wrong, but you never know. And that's my predictions for this Sunday at NXT Takeover. All right, I'm back. I had to take a little quick pee break. Check on some clothes. Anywho, let us get to this watch along. Every week I will put up a poll of what matches I just choose at random of just matches I deem watchable. Most matches I haven't watched. Most matches I probably haven't seen in a while. And this particular match, got the votes of the match you want me to watch. It's from 1996. Shawn Michaels versus Mankind. Mind Games. It is no DQ match. Heard a lot of good things about it. Never watched it, so this will be my first time. Let's see if I can fast forward a little bit. Yes. So, anyways, now we will be watching Mind Games.
On Superstars earlier today. Paul Bear
Turn the volume up a little bit.
I want you, Mr. Perfect, counter the extraordinary skills, if you can call them skills, of Mankind. Well, if you're Shawn Michaels with the great athletic ability that he has, I know he has great athletic.
Mankind make his entrance in a casket.
Endurance to outlast Mankind, have to wear him down.
With Paul Bearer as his
And I
manager.
don't know if Shawn Michaels is thinking that way because he's the one that's walking out to the ring, not me. I mean, if I was walking out to the ring, I'd have a different answer for him. Where is Mankind? And will that man that we see on the video wall, Paul Bearer, play a part in this matchup? Absolutely. Paul Bearer, the inspirational
Doing a watch long. That's the thing I do at the end of the show every show. I do watch longs.
Mankind is so unorthodox. And Mankind will do anything to his own body to win this match, I can assure you. You will sacrifice, no question about that, isn't it? There will be injuries.
Oh my God.
Tonight. I can feel it in the air, McMahon. I can feel it. Mankind, the next World Wrestling Federation champion, arriving. If in fact he is arriving in a casket. Well, he would certainly be a challenging image as the WWF champion to market, I would assume. That's why I said earlier, the whole course of the WWF could change right here just moments from now. All right! I don't know what they see in this guy, but I know they can tell they love this guy.
Now I'm comfortable. He has the Jose Lothario walking to the ring. Shawn Michaels. The story is that Shawn Michaels didn't like Jose. Like that was the guy who trained him, and he didn't like him at all. That's the story I heard from other guys. Jim Cornette tells a story that Shawn literally wanted nothing to do with him. That they wanted to bring in Jose Lothario as his trainer to kind of really build up that babyface gimmick of his. And Shawn was just like, I don't want anything to. My girl's aunt can't stand him. If you bring up Shawn Michaels to her, she will literally just go on this huge rant. The story she tells is that Shawn beat the shit out of Jose Lothario. Like they were training in the ring, and he started beating him up for real. So to this day, she can't stand it. Her daughter, on the other hand, who's the girl's cousin, she loves Shawn Michaels. So that's kind of that's your double-edged sword. If you want to look at it.
I like the style of this Mankind. He's going right out to get the job done. Michaels off the rope. Back body drop. Whoa. As it began earlier, live here at the Core State Center this morning.
Ooh, clothesline right out of the ring.
Mankind has no regard for his own body. If you think he's going to have it in the shot right, here we go. Oh, no.
Ooh. This is probably the first time Shawn's had to work this kind of extreme style. Or like a street fight type match.
Well, you talk about mind games. This is going to be one of the weirdest World Wrestling Federation Championship matches of all time.
Shawn's at the top and does a crossbody on Mankind outside of it. It's a sweet looking spot. This is gonna sound kind of weird. I always preferred Shawn Michaels in tights. Whenever he started doing the baggy, the baggy pants or whatever the fuck those were later in his little career, I didn't really care. I didn't really care for that look. I preferred when he just had the tights. That's just a preference. I also wish that whenever he came back, he brought back those armbands instead of wearing, simple wrist tape. Which I get why, when you get older, you can't keep pretending to be the sexy boy, even though he was still kind of doing it.
Shawn Michaels trying to set up Mankind. There's a reversal there. Michaels underneath the roundhouse. Michaels turning the cover. Michaels with the right hand now. Shawn Michaels. Michaels off the rope. Shawn Michaels. The faster the pace, the better it is for the champion. Michaels has got so much quickness and so much speed. And Michaels has proven time and time again that he can mix it up in any style match you want. If you want to brawl, he can brawl. Because he's quicker than those people. If you want a scientific matchup, look at this. You get that one too. Michaels just hand finished off Mankind.
And Michaels is signaling that it's time to end. Calling for the band. 1, 2. And he's going for it, and Mankind gets out.
Mankind well prepared. He saw that kid coming, and Mankind bolted. He leaped from the ring. And now he's been given the urn for those. Walter's going to tell him it's for the World Wrestling Federation champion. Look at that. Oh, goodness, that turned him up okay. encouraging Mankind to get back into the ring.
Paul Bearer wants to manage the WWF champion. Paul Bearer knows the power he will have if he controls the World Wrestling Federation title.
And Michael. Trying to set up Mankind. Michael following Mankind. Mankind has the run. And Michaels is angry. Michaels is hot.
Ooh, Michaels is out. Going right after Mankind. Mankind taking him down. And Shawn gets back up and tries to punch him in the face some more. Mankind's got a sleeper hold on Michaels. He's trying to go for this. Mankind doing his squeal. He's trying to go for the mandible claw, but Michaels is blocking it.
Mankind's got a waist lock on Michaels. Mankind wants the mandible claw.
And Shawn Michaels taken down by Mankind. Shawn Michaels was very, very angry. And his cameraman got the best of him there a few moments ago. But right now, Michaels getting the best of Mankind.
Mankind trying to get in some sort of safety position.
You talk about spunk. You talk about skill. There's no human being who has as much as Shawn Michaels has when it comes to competing in the WWF. I think Mankind is Shawn Michaels wild.
Wow. What a right hand. This one's going to get nasty as nasty now. It's out of hand. I mean, you almost feel this thing about ready to erupt out of it.
We're up to the outside now. Hey, look, Michaels. Mankind coming outside right after him.
And he's taking apart the Spanish announce table, of course. Oh, Michaels jumped over that table. That was a sweet looking jump. Ooh. Suplex him onto that on those steel steps. Mankind just hit his leg. Landed on his leg, actually. That did not look like it did not hurt. Did not look like it did not hurt. Yeah, I think I said it.
Talk about needing an orthopedic surgeon. I wonder if there's one in the house, Mankind, that's got to be crippled from that.
Mankind. He doesn't know the word pain. I don't think he does.
What a chop block. Good move right there.
On top of the casket now.
This is not a casket match. That knee is taking a beating right here. How is Mankind going to be able to stand?
Shawn really going after that leg.
Michaels he's more aggressive tonight too than we've ever seen.
He has to be. He has no choice. I've never seen this side of Shawn Michaels before.
I'm not criticizing him. I like it.
Michaels now. He has to do.
Ooh, he just high face arrow at me.
That's pretty stupid right there.
It's not something a baby face should do.
Is it? I mean, let's face it, if Michaels is just no.
He doesn't want to win it that way, though, Vince. He wants to beat Mankind.
Well, he knows he can hang on to the belt that way by getting disqualified.
I think it is an emotional thing he did. I don't think he meant to do it.
Well, then the mind games have taken effect on Shawn Michaels. Mankind's knee's getting better. The point is, Michaels is losing his cool, and both of you have made that point over and over. And that just speaks to us.
And Michaels took him down by the leg and wristed it as he went down. That was a heck of a move. A leg drag with a twist.
Michaels, get your work coming up. I don't think Mankind is going to submit, however. I don't think he's the kind to submit, but he may be coming up.
Mankind's left knee has got to be done.
How's your glitter in
He's
there?
got to be exploding in pain.
There's like all this random glitter in there. Couldn't have been for Shawn's entrance. Very sure it wasn't for Mankind. Goldust had I think Goldust might have had a match before this. It had to be Goldust. Oh, man. Really going after that leg.
That was one of my moves he just used right there. Shawn Michaels is wrestling this match perfectly. Complete control at the moment. However, you never know what's going to happen here in the World Wrestling Federation in Mankind. Inches his way over.
Just those facials. Those facials that Paul Bear made, only he can get away with that.
Well, we knew it was going to be a physical match. I must say, I had no idea it was going to be quite like this. And actually, I thought the physicality was going to be supplied by Mankind, not by Shawn Michaels.
What a maneuver!
Michaels, off the rope. Michaels now going upstairs. Michaels throw. Brought him off the top ring rope. Shawn Michaels throw. He may have just destroyed his larynx right there. Mankind went south with that maneuver, and Shawn Michaels is paying for it. Mankind, I don't think he meant to throw Shawn Michaels into the rope. His knee gave out on him. On the other hand, Mankind has got Shawn Michaels. What's he doing? He's trying to strike his own knee to get the feeling back into it, I would assume.
Paul Bear just gave him a pen to get feeling back into his leg. I guess it worked. I would have thought that would have been the opposite. But, so now Mankind's getting some offense in, or getting back into offense. Ooh, taking Shawn to that coffin. This kind of reminds me of Cactus Jack versus Sting at Bash of the Beach. What was it called? Was it Beach Bash or Beach Blast? Yeah, I have the best of Bash at the Beach. It's a VHS, and I used to watch that like a handful of times. I remember getting it for Christmas one year, and that was the first match that came on was Cactus Jack versus Sting. I think it was 92. I think it was 92. I like to say it was 92, and it was a no DQ match, and it was for the WCW title. And this was Sting, the beach surfer Sting. This is kind of similar to that, where Shawn Michaels, in the early '90s, and Sting in the early '90s, they had that kind of that beach surfer look, that clean cut, all American boy look. And then you bring in Cactus Jack and Mankind, who was this crazy, who was this psychopath. So they have to step up their game. They have to wrestle a style they've never wrestled before. It brings out a part of them that they never had to bring out. So far, this kind of reminds me of it, and I mean that in a good way because I like that match. That was a really good match.
I'll tell you what. I was confused. I think it's Paul Bear is out there.
I think Shawn Michaels is a better wrestler than Sting. Always has been.
We have yet to see the mandible bar apply. And of course, we know there is no suplex by Shawn Michaels. Michaels bought himself some time there. Shawn Michaels is not a regroup, or Shawn Michaels is going to lose the WWF title. We're here tonight in Philadelphia. Michaels on the right end of the top. Michaels on the other one.
Well, it was in Philly, so Mick Foley already has that ECW lineage tied to Philly. Wasn't this the same pay-per-view that ECW guys, were like in attendance and they came out? Or am I thinking of a different show? Yeah, Shawn just has the ability to just work with anyone. There's not too many guys like that. Probably AJ Styles is maybe the only guy left. AJ Styles and probably Daniel Bryan, I think, are the only guys left that could work with anyone and make them look like $1 million.
Mankind's got that leg working for him. Well, you said before, Shawn Michaels is one of the most, if not the most resilient WWF champion ever. This is really taking him to the limit.
Yeah, we're going to find out about the cliche. It's really true. Is Shawn Michaels the most resilient superstar ever in the WWF? We'll find out before we leave here tonight.
And dropping the leg.
Michaels can get another concussion here before it's all said and done, if he hasn't already got one.
The Heartbreak Kid may be broke at this time. Mankind, moving back in on the World Wrestling Federation champion, Shawn Michaels. Oh my goodness, having a turn to the outside.
My goodness!
Shawn Michaels right in the jaw. Michaels went for the ride over the top. Wants Mankind to it now. They need to put that table back.
I don't think our Spanish announcer is going to touch that table. Not with that guy doing it.
I don't blame him.
Look at this.
I wonder where the whole thing came of, let's just fuck with the Spanish broadcasting table. I wonder where that came from.
They're not using cars. They're using their bodies.
Shawn Michaels moving out of harm's way.
I won't be surprised if they decide to induct the Spanish announcing into the Hall of Fame. I mean, maybe they're good. Granted, I don't know what they're saying, but maybe, they've been with the company this thing. So they'll put them in the Hall of Fame. But they're going to throw in that inside joke of, they have to fuck with our table. Yeah.
Will we see Goldust again? Will we see the Undertaker here again tonight?
Okay, so it was a match with Goldust and the Undertaker. Shawn can't lift Mankind. Mankind lifts Shawn, and Shawn gets out of it. Yeah, Mankind's up hitting himself, trying to hit Shawn.
Turning toward the next right there.
I have seen it all in this one.
Oh, what a match! What a WWF Championship match we are seeing right here. Oh, man.
All right, Mankind, set up now. Michaels, let's get back party shot now. I've got about telegraph there.
Ooh, Mankind, he's being choked. Ooh, and Shawn doesn't give a fuck. Ooh, and he's got the mandible claw on him. While he's hanging on the ropes. And then Shawn picks him. I wonder if that was supposed to happen.
Opening up that front and Mankind dropped out. Now both men on the outside.
Oh, he's got that mandible claw on, but he's outside, so it means nothing. Ooh. Shawn throws him into Hugo.
It's a little bit too close for me. Carnage all over the place.
Carnage. Ooh. Tried to punch Shawn. Ended up punching Shawn while he's holding a chair. The referee's not looking. Shawn took the chair right to the mandible claw. the right hand where he gives him the pull. Now he's biting his hand. Jesus, Shawn. What a savage. Now he's working on the hand to make sure he never does it. What about his other one? Huh? Didn't think about that, Shawn, did you?
He certainly is attempting to incapacitate it. Put it that way. His fingers are incapacitated. And Michaels doesn't have to worry about Mankind's mandible claw. Oh my goodness.
He's got to break fingers. He stops to lead us, Michaels, and then falls with the right hand. Mankind is being physically dissected here. Every part of his anatomy.
Oh, and he just took off the mandible.
And rearranged.
Now he just took off the glove where he does his mandible. And he's just fucking up that hand. He's just making sure that hand doesn't do anything.
He's got to break both hands.
And Shawn Michaels is going to make sure he will not feel that mandible claw anymore tonight. And maybe, just maybe, he has taken that lethal weapon, if you would, away from Mankind.
Ooh, Shawn taking a nice little bump outside.
Shawn Michaels is hurt very badly. He went over the top, landed right on his hip on the outside.
Look where he landed.
Mankind's writhing in pain back in the ring.
Mankind. I'll tell you what, whoever wins this matchup deserves to be World Wrestling Federation champion. Mankind.
What is he doing? Goes for an elbow drop right outside the ring onto Shawn.
And Mankind finds his mark. And Shawn Michaels is perhaps moments away from losing a WWF championship. And if he does, who can blame him? All right, here we go. Here's what happens. You know what's about. Pulled up by the elbow. Mankind driving the elbow right into the sternum area, and Michaels is still suffering the effects.
Mankind not aware that he can't win a championship by countout. Shawn Michaels is there for
Here comes Mankind. And the official is having great difficulty in maintaining any order whatsoever in this match.
Michaels' head bounced off that concrete floor like an egg. What a swinging neck breaker, and what strategically placed swinging neck breaker by Mankind.
Yeah, but look at this. Michaels is making his way back to the ring. All right, Michaels now. On the apron. Look there. And Mankind dropped the leg.
This is a genuine walk through hell for the WWF champion.
And go for the DDT.
Double arm DDT.
Double arm DDT. Go for the pin. 1, 2, and Shawn kicks out. Oh, he's going for that pile driver and goes. Got it. Ooh, that was a nice looking pile driver. Not gonna lie. Can't do that anymore. 1, 2, and he kicks out again. Trying to go for another pin. 1, 2, and kicks out.
He's shaking his own hair out.
Mick Foley ripping out his own hair. Pissed off. He can't put the champ away and get the title. Now he's taking the steel chair. Now he's taking another chair, which is, I guess, kind of a steel chair. He's taking another steel chair, throwing it in the ring.
Shawn Michaels is feeling the effect of the attack of Mankind. Why in the world Mankind is not going to do it?
Oh, he just opened up the coffin. That was where they throw Shawn.
You can't beat a barrier. Throw him in a casket. It's not a casket match. That's psychologically. Mankind.
He's trying to roll Shawn in there, and no, Shawn says, fuck that, I'm not going in this casket. Ooh. Running for him, gets right back on his feet, pops right back up. How does he do that? Good match so far. A lot better than Sting and Cactus Jack. On the level of Sting and Cactus Jack, I think a little bit better, because Shawn is that much better than Sting. Crossbody 1-2, and Mankind kicks out.
What does Shawn Michaels have to do to beat this deranged human being? Fighting in pain,
Ooh, right through the table. That was a nice spot. Yeah, those tables really were tables. Vince checking on Shawn, making sure he's alright. Yeah, they really did have those like actual tables to do the announcing. They didn't get their legit looking announcing tables until much later. Mankind has a steel chair. Referee's distracted while Mankind has a steel chair. Shawn sees it, and then Shawn gets him right in the face while he has a chair. That was Sweet Chin music? That was just more of a kick to the face while he's holding a chair, but whatever. Oops, someone's coming out. Vader? What the hell's Vader doing out here? Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Oh, and then Shawn sends him back. Ooh, Paul Bearer right from behind. Hits Shawn in the back of the head with the ring. Why are they putting so much emphasis? Why are they emphasizing that the referee didn't see it? The match is over. And now Sid's out to fight Vader. So that's how the match ends? The match ends in disqualification? Ooh. Mankind finally going for the mandible claw. Opening up the casket to put Shawn in. It's the Undertaker! The Undertaker's out. He's back. He wants revenge against Mankind. And he just tosses Mankind out of the ring like he's a piece of shit. Chasing after Mankind. Mankind's hobbling back to the ring. The Undertaker's briskly walking. I've seen it all. I don't get how it was a disqualification because Vader didn't do anything. Vader just came near the ring. Shouldn't you call it disqualification if he actually does something? Like if he actually strikes Michaels or grabs him? I mean, it was a good match until the disqualification, but it's like, come on.
Capacity crowd, it should be the other way around. He is the man. There's no doubt about it. Shawn Michaels is the man in the World Wrestling Federation. If ever there was any
Shawn celebrating, showing some love to the fans, and showing love to him. Posing in the ring with that title.
Give credit to the foe. Give credit to mankind. Who took Michaels to a limit we thought he or no one could ever attain here tonight. And it will be mankind who takes the Undertaker to the very same limits in October. Somebody's going to be buried 6 feet under in the Market Square Arena in Indianapolis.
Oh, Shawn's pulling out his pants.
Sunday, October the 20th.
Showing that Heartbreak Kid tattoo. Pull those pants up, Shawn. There's children afoot.
Shawn Michaels reigns at least at the moment still as the World Wrestling
Okay, that's enough of that. That was a pretty long match. I mean, yeah, like I said, it was a good match. I didn't know it ended in disqualification because I'd never seen the match before. But, I mean, yeah, they could get away with it back then. You can't get away with that kind of shit now. No one wants a main event should not end in disqualification. I mean, you can get away with that being a mid-card throwaway match, but the main event match for the title, come on, you can't do a disqualification, dude. Come on. But yeah, anyways, that was fun. I'll put up a poll for next week to see what I do. I'll choose some of my list of matches. Anyways, that's the show for tonight. Shout outs to Wrestling Soup. Shout out to Kevin Castle, Trez, John Draper. John Draper and B. Show Brian and Shane's podcast. Destroy the Break the Apocalypse, which is you can catch it on Spreaker. You can also subscribe to the Patreon. Subscribe to Wrestling Soup's Patreon. Subscribe to Kevin Castle, DTKC's Patreon for Kevin Castle's show. Also, a show with Trez. And also Garden of Doom with Shaheen and Jeff Lipman. Subscribe to RJ's show. You can find on Spotify and Anchor, RJ and the Savage show and the Savage podcast. Wrestling Court with Julian and Rob. Demented Unusual with Rally Age, which you can find on Spotify. Listen to that. Texas Podcast Massacre. Tyler and the Trademark. And everyone else's podcast, make sure you subscribe to them. Also subscribe to False Count Radio with Benji Carlick. Subscribe to everybody, listen to their podcast. I'll be back next week, same time. Same time, I'll be doing another watch-along. Again, I'll put up another poll to see what match y'all want me to watch. But anyways, take care, guys, and peace.